Hello, good day by the way. This is August Jerilyn with my partner AUDIENCIA Michael Vincent D. So in this video, we're going to have a report all about life of Rizal in chapter 23, The Last Trip Abroad, 1896. So here guys, we're just going to give you a summary all about the chapter 23 last trip abroad in 1896 of life of Rizal. So let's start. So chapter 23 last trip abroad 1896. Jose Rizal was kept as a guest on board of the Spanish cruiser Castilla. August 26, 1896, Katipunan raised the cry for revolution in the hills of Balintawak. From Dapitan to Manila, Jose Rizal is in Dumaguete. Rizal visited a friend and a former classmate, Herrero Regidor, who was the judge of the province. He also visited Periquet and Rufina families. And in the afternoon, he operated on a Spanish captain of the Guardia Civil. And then, Rizal misses ship going to Spain. Nalimtan niya, no? So, Rizal was unable to catch the mail ship Isla de Luzon for Spain. So, his staying in Manila for 1 month might be give him troubles. So, he requested to Governor General to be isolated from everybody except his family. Near midnight the same day, August 6, Rizal was transferred to Spanish cruiser Castilla with the order of Governor General. Enrique Santalo, Christ captain, said he wasn't a prisoner but a request detained on board in order to avoid difficulties from friends and enemies. So Jose Rizal stayed on the cruiser for about a month, from August 6 to September 2 in 1896. So, outbreak of the Philippine Revolution. While Jose Rizal was patiently waiting on the cruiser of Castilla for the next steamer to take him to Spain, portentous event occurred presaging the downfall of Spanish power in Asia. In August 1896, the Katipunan plot to overthrow Spanish rule by means of revolution was discovered by Agustinian Cura of Tondo, Grey Mariano Hill. And then this incident struck error into the hearts of Spain's Spanish officials and residents, producing hysteria of vindictive retaliation against the Filipino patriots. And then that tumult produced by the discovery of the Katipunan plot was aggravated by the cry of Balintawak, which was raised by Bonifacio and his valiant Katipuneros on August 26, 1896. August 30, revolutionists led by Bonifacio and Jacinto attacked San Juan, but they were repulsed by heavy issues. Oh, that's why. So, after the Battle of San Juan, Governor General Blanco proclaimed a state of war in the first 8 provinces for raising arms against Spain. So that's why Manila as a province, Bulacan, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, and Tarlac. Rizal was worried when he read the news at newspaper for 2 reasons. So the reason is here, the number one, the violent the violent revolution which he sincerely believed to be premature and would only cause much suffering and terrible loss of human lives and property, had started, and it would arouse Spanish vengeance against all Filipino patriots. So that's the two reason. Next, departure for Spain. So here, on August 30, 1896, when the state of war was proclaimed, Rizal received two letters of introduction from Governor General Ramon Blanco for the Minister of War and Minister of Colonies, with a covering letter which absolved him from all the blame for the raging revolution. Minister of War, General Marcelo D. Azcarriaga. And then on September 2, Rizal was transferred to the steamer Isla de Panay, which was sailing for Barcelona, Spain. September 3, the steamer left Manila Bay. Rizal's last trip to Spain began. So, among his fellow passengers on board were Don Pedro Rujas, rich man Crelo, an industrialist and his friend, and his son named Beriken. Next, Rizal in Singapore. So Rizal got in Singapore. Isla de Panay arrived at Singapore in the evening of September 7. And then Don Pedro advised Rizal to stay behind to and take advantage of the protection of British law. Rizal did not need his advice. So, Filipino residents of Singapore, headed by Don Manuel Camos, boarded the steamer, urging him to stay in Singapore to save his life, which he ignored because he already gave his word to the Governor General. Next, so this is the victim of Spanish duplicity. So, without his knowledge, Governor General Blanco was secretly conspiring with the Minister of War and the colonies, Ultramar, for his destruction. So Rizal proved to be gullible as Sultan Zaid, who is another victim of Spanish intrigue. So one of Rizal's greatest mistakes was to believe in the Governor General that he was a man of honor and a friend, because he allowed him to go as a free man to Spain to become a physician surgeon of the Spanish army in Cuba. So, according to the declassified documents in the ministries of war in the colonies, was that Blanco regarded Rizal as a dangerous Filipino who was responsible for the raging Filipino Revolution and therefore plotted his doom. So Rizal was unaware that since his departure from Manila, Blanco and the ministries of war and colonies were exchanging coded telegrams and confidential messages for his arrest upon reaching Barcelona, and that he was a departee and was being secretly kept under surveillance. And then, Rizal arrested before reaching Barcelona. Here, Isla de Panay with Rizal boarded left Singapore at 1 p.m. September 8, and on September 25, he saw the steamer Isla Luzon leaving the Suez Canal crammed with the Spanish troops. 2 days later, September 25, he heard from the passengers that a telegram arrived from Manila reporting the execution of Francisco Rojas, Hinato, and Osario. And then on September 28, a day after the steam had left port, said Mediterranean terminus of Suez Canal. A passenger told Rizal that he would be arrested by order of Blanco and would be set in prison in Ceuta, Spanish Morocco, opposite of Gibraltar. And then, shocked by the news, Rizal then realized that he was duped by the Spanish official and slave Blanco. And then on September 30, he was officially notified by Captain Alimany that he should stay in his cabin until further orders from Manila, which he graciously obeyed. So that was Rizal arrested no before reaching Barcelona. And next, the arrival in Barcelona as a prisoner. So Jose Rizal there, and September 30, steamer anchored in Malta. Rizal was unable to visit the famous islands fortress of the Christian Crusaders. And then on October 3, Isla de Panay arrived in Barcelona with Rizal as a prisoner. The trip from Manila to Barcelona lasted exactly 30 days. And then his jailer was no longer the ship captain but the military commander of Barcelona, who happened to be General Iologo de Despujol, the same one who ordered his banishment in Dapitan in July 1892. Was one of the coincidences in the lives of men that make history stranger than fiction. And then October 6, Rizal was escorted to the grim and infamous prison fortress named Monchinch. And then about 2 in afternoon, he was taken out of the prison and brought to the headquarters of General Despojol. He told Rizal that he would be brought back to Manila on board the transport ship Colon, which would leave that evening. So so that would be all. Thank you, sir. A short summary of the chapter 23, The Last Trip Abroad.